This was another DEI hire. She was like, we need a gay in here to consult on my awakening and my gay
and
music
boy,
video.
Did we get one. Boy,
Yep.
did we get one.
This was a harder task than I thought it was going to be, Madeline.
Oh, it took me hours. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think there's anybody. We always say there's always somebody caping for a Taylor Swift song. I don't think there is a soul alive who's out there caping for Joker and the Queen. She wanted to be Pride. I was making my own name. She wanted to be Pride. I was making my own name.
Too
Not
funny.
even to dinner with the Kushners.
Welcome back to Evolution of a Snake. I'm Zach.
And I'm Madeline.
And before we do anything at all, go to evolutionofasnake.com and get tickets to the Snares tour right now. Before you speak, before you breathe, before you move, do that. Okay?
You need to go buy tickets because otherwise you're not going to be able to go. And then you're going to look like a real fool in front of all your friends and family. Is that what you want?
You're going to feel
look
really
like
stupid.
A little punk because you didn't get your ticket?
You want to be on the turkey at the table at Thanksgiving? You don't want to be that.
Not on
you don't
my
want to
watch.
be the turkey.
No, you don't.
You want to be enjoying a delicious tofurkey because we are not meat eaters at the Snares tour.
That's right, tofurkey. Everybody step right up and get your tofurkey.
A highly prized menu item.
Highly coveted.
Well, today, aside from turkeys, today what we are doing is we are ranking Taylor Swift's best friends, and some of her ex-best friends. And this was a harder task than I thought it was going to be, Madeline.
Oh, it took me hours. I'm not going to lie to you. I was just thinking that. I went into it thinking, like, this is going to be so easy. It took me, like, a couple of hours. I mean, I wasn't like I slaved the whole day over it, but I spent, like, 2-3 hours sitting there.
And here's the thing. We could have done a really exhaustive list, and it would have been an extremely boring episode because we don't have anything to say about Zoe Kravitz and Taylor Swift's friendship. Laura Dern and Taylor Swift. Don't know anything about that. It's none of my business.
It's none of my business. And another one that I think somebody is going to bring up, just because of two other people we bring up in the episode, I don't have anything to say about Aaron Dessner. I don't have nothing.
No.
All I say is,
either.
God bless you on your journey, oh baby girl. That's what I say to Aaron Dessner, because
Thank you for your service.
Exactly. Thank you for your service, but we don't have to examine you at all. And he doesn't want to be examined. Haven't you noticed that? Every time, do you remember when he was getting brought onto the stage all the time and he wouldn't have a microphone and Taylor would be like, do you want to say hi? And you could see him like slowly recoil, but it would be
she would shove it in his face.
Yeah.
And we're not Taylor Swift. We're not going to be shoving a microphone in front of his face today.
I'm not doing that.
So we basically picked the ones that there is enough to talk about. We have enough interest in, although there are a few sneaks. When I was getting to the end of the list, I was saying we put together a very strange list. But I think, Taylor's friendships are evolving. They change a lot. They change every year. And we are definitely in a new era of Taylor Swift besties. And there are few holdovers from years gone past. But why don't we let's start with the diva. Let's start with someone that when I think of Taylor Swift's best friend, I think of this person. It is the one and only, the legendary Miss Selena Gomez.
Well, yes. I mean,
we're keeping an eye out for her. We always are.
I gotta keep an eye out for Selena. I am constantly keeping an eye out for Selena, and that's the scary thing. I do always know what's going on in Selena's life. Unfortunately, some might say that we know a little bit too much about what's going on in Selena Gomez's life these days.
See.
I'm talking about bathtubs full of queso, ladies and gentlemen.
We didn't need to hear that.
I don't need to know that. In terms of her friendship with Taylor Swift, I mean, used to be front page news.
We need to know more about that.
We need to know more. We need to know more.
So we have some categories that we've decided to rank them on out of 10 to give them a total potential score of 50. And the categories that we have are, how funny was this relationship? Did it make us laugh? Did we chortle? Did we idgeball? And I should also just make it clear that we're not ranking this like objectively. We're ranking it based on our personal feelings about this person. How much do I like this person out of 10? That's another category. Did Taylor make this person more interesting? That was a very interesting category throughout, actually. Memorable or iconic? Is their friendship something that we think about? Do we discuss it? And the very nebulous and totally subjective, how good of a friend are they to Taylor Swift? Now, I have thoughts on that category.
Oh, there's so many thoughts. I have so many thoughts. Of every single person on here, I have thoughts about that particular category. Some people, it was really easy to tell. I will say this. Some people, it was really, really easy to tell. Other people, I was like, I don't know that. I don't know that at
and
all.
my instinct, I had like a little heebie-jeebies about some of them with no evidence. I just had a sneaky feeling that some of them, you know, aren't what, it's not what it says on the tin.
It's
So
not what
anyway,
it
back
seems.
to Selena Gomez. We also get to pick a favorite and iconic moment. So how funny is Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift's relationship? I put it at 10 out of 10.
That's funny. I put it at 7 out of 10. I was thinking specifically of Ask Taylor. That sends me to the moon.
One of my favorite moments.
Number one, LOL. I can LOL over Ask Taylor at any given time. And it's funny because that's something that happened when I was like 15. Still funny today.
I'll
Still
never
funny
forget
today.
that. Demi,
Ask Taylor.
thank you for doing that. She is always hilarious at the expense of herself, and I have to clap and cheer. Other funny moments about them. I mean, well, her consistently hating Justin Bieber on Selena's
that
behalf.
was iconery. No, that was iconery.
That's a real
Lest we
friend.
forget. That's a real friend.
That is a real friend.
Taylor clocked that tea from day one. And even when she was clocking the tea, even when she was saying, Selena, you are messing up with, you got to get away from this guy, she was still there. If Selena called, Taylor picked up the phone. And I think we should have that conversation. You see how that works?
That is a topic of debate. There was a period of time where there seemed to be a little bit of a disconnect. I think Taylor might have had enough of the Jelena drama, but they circled back as they always do with a beautiful friendship makeup post on Instagram of them running through the Met Gala with their gowns. That's an iconic moment. That's an iconic moment.
I clapped and I cheered. Met Gala is always iconic. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a gorgeous.
Those
It was filmed on that stupid app 8mm where you could like make everything look like film. Do you remember that?
Yeah, and when they went to the Grammys together, the 1989 Grammys. How can we forget?
Iconic.
How can we forget?
Bringing your best girlfriend as your date to the Girl Boss Summit of the year. I mean,
exactly.
What else were you going to do? And who else would you even consider bringing? And, you know, Karlie Kloss was the HBIC for Taylor at that point, and still Selena
brought
out
Selena.
An invitation.
Well, Karlie had no job.
She's never had a job.
She barely had a job then, and she really doesn't have one now.
Remember Karlie's cookies? You don't.
Do you remember Code with Klossy? You don't.
You don't. You don't remember these things because they didn't happen. So how much do I like her, Selena Gomez? Well, I gave her a 9 out of 10 because at the moment, she's pissing me off.
I gave Selena a 10 out of 10.
This is a Selena Hive. This podcast is a Selena podcast.
This is Selena Hive.
Selena, we're keeping an eye out for her. Yep. We've always been saying that. Did Taylor make her more interesting? That was a compelling one for me because I think that Selena Gomez is a messy queen. She does not need anyone else to make her personal life drama more dramatic. She was definitely interesting before Taylor, but this was a difficult category too, because anyone in proximity to Taylor becomes a little bit more interesting.
This was hard, like across the board. There are some people where it was so obvious. With Selena, I was like, okay, Soul Search, MADELINE, Soul Search. If Selena had absolutely no ties to Taylor Swift whatsoever, genuinely, how interesting would you find her? I said 8 out of 10. I said 8 out of 10, Taylor. But it's like, this was a hard one. I said 8 out of 10, I think kind of because I wanted Selena to be number one. So
yeah, well,
I kind of
many such cases.
I don't think that Taylor makes Selena more interesting. I want to be really clear about that. This is a case of insider trading. This is a case of lying. I said what I had to do to get her to the top. I got her to the top. I did what I had to do. 8 out of 10.
And I support you on that. Lock her up.
Yep.
But I gave it a 6 out of 10 because I came from a similar perspective in Taylina Wynn and Selena Gomez, best person ever of all time. It was a compliment to her to give this a lower score. Is it memorable and iconic? 10 out of 10. Yes.
Yes, 10 out of 10. 10s across the board. Thank you.
10 10s across the board. What else is there to say about it? It's like the defining Taylor Swift. Selena Gomez is the Tay Warrior.
Oh, she always has been the Tay Warrior too. That's what people don't realize. Selena would show up. She'll scrap about anything. I'm sure everybody knows this. Selena will log on to Instagram to scrap about just about damn anything. But she's scrapped on Instagram about Taylor once or twice. And that's on period.
She will never, ever speak ill of Taylor Swift, and nor should she. Why would she? Taylor has been amazing to her. But also, in every interview I've seen of Selena where she's asked about Taylor, sometimes the girlies get annoyed when they're constantly asked about Taylor, and I get that. Lorde has had a couple of interview moments where she's like, Jesus Christ, please ask me about something else. But Selena is always like effusively praising of Taylor. Like you can see her kind of light up when Taylor's name comes up because she loves her and she loves to talk about her. And I love that about their relationship. They genuinely, I feel like, do really root for and support each other.
Yeah, 100%. And that's just on girls being girls.
It's just girls being
These are the
girls.
days. These are the days.
So how good of a friend is Selena Gomez? 10 out of 10. This is how you do warrior behaviors.
So I said 8 out of 10. I said 8 out of
8 out of 10.
I said 8 out of 10 because
she dated Justin Bieber.
Well, yeah, and I do think that I think there was a time when Selena was so lost in the sauce over Justin Bieber that there may have been occasions where she said, I'm in love and I choose Justin. And Taylor was like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? So that's
I know what you're saying.
That's why I chose that. So I said 8 out of 10.
I fear Taylor has done that too 1 million times.
Well,
but
yes, but that's
to all the girls, to all the girls, to all the girls. So what is your favorite moment? Mine, I kind of went a little rogue here because there are all the funny ones that we've mentioned. I have two. One is funny. One is at the AMAs when Selena was like obviously wasted out of her brain the entire time. And Taylor was like really trying to act like everything was normal. Like during her flop performance, she was like screaming and trying to hype the crowd up when Selena was like in real time doing a car crash on stage. And then also when Selena was clearly drunk out of her mind standing next to Andrea Swift in the audience during Taylor's medley, trying to sing the words to I Knew You Were Trouble. And she's like swaying and her eyes are rolling to the back of her head. That
was absolutely crazy.
I had to laugh. And I have to also think that because Taylor had Halsey and Camila Cabello come up beside her to sing on the AMA medley, my like little thing that I've always thought is that Selena was supposed to be up there that night and she was in no fit state to do it. And so Halsey said, hold my wig, I will do it.
Well, you know Halsey will always get up there. She'll get up
she
there.
Will.
She'll take her wig
She should have been
off
on the list. Damn, we forgot to put her on the list.
On stage. Well, the Halsey is one of those ones where we don't really know enough about it. It's just like I only know that they're still friends because they literally hung out sometime before The Great Impersonator. Like before she was getting ready to announce it, they went to a party together and there's like a Polaroid and that's all I know.
They're friendly. We know that for sure. They're friendly.
Yeah.
And then my sincere favorite moment is when Taylor in the 1989 era, before Selena was really kind of being acknowledged as like an actual good pop star beyond the Disney sphere, she gave an interview and was like, people don't understand how smart and talented Selena Gomez is, and they really underestimate her. And like 3 months later, Revival came out. Boots.
And that's on Boots, and that's on Period. So my funny moment was Ask Taylor, which we've already talked about. And then my number 2 moment is when Selena was putting out The Heart Wants What It Wants. One of the first people that Selena showed the video to was Taylor. And I'll always remember she said that when she played the video for Taylor, right after it ended, Taylor was like, play it again. That was me.
Queen.
Was me. Play it again. Play it again.
Thank you,
Asking
Jesus.
God if he
could play.
That's exactly how I felt about that video
and
as well.
It was
I
such
could watch
a good
that
video.
a million, trillion, gazillion times. I love The Heart Wants What It Wants. It's one of my favorite
And
Selena
Taylor
songs.
welling up with tears when Selena performed it at the AMAs. I mean,
that's friendship. That's girlhood.
Herstory. It's herstory.
That's herstory.
So Selena Gomez total score for me was 45 out of 50.
Mine is 41 out of 50.
Well, she's getting up there. Up next, this is a topical point of interest. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. And I think it is only right that they're grouped together because they seem to be Taylor's couple friend.
Now, I want to say something before we get into this. Before I speak a single word, because I'm going to say some negative things, but I want to be very clear. Blake Lively has my full support against this smear campaign. She has my full support in standing up against the sexual harassment she faced on the set of It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni, You Will Never Know Peace. And I need to say this as a disclaimer because my truth is I despise Ryan Reynolds. He is one of my least favorite celebrities on planet Earth.
Yeah.
As for Blake, I don't mind her. She can cook. She can exist. I'm ambivalent towards Blake at absolute worst.
Just
heard of the traveling pants? Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I
Gossip
watched it.
Girl.
Greatest movie ever
Serena
made.
van der Woodsen. I know
I
her.
never got into Gossip Girl, so I think that's why I never really got the Blake Lively thing. But I was a Sisterhood of Traveling Pants fan. Ryan Reynolds, you will never be Ryan Gosling. Let's know that. You are nothing. Why did you
Flop
paint
actor,
Stonewall?
flop
And you need to calm
businessman.
down video. We're asking all these questions. And I think that these are the questions that we need to be asking. Not all these other questions going on. Why did you paint Stonewall in the you need to calm down video? Let's put that into the court of public opinion. Why?
Taylor Swift has bad ideas all the time. It's not always your responsibility to execute them. And you did that.
In any event, I do kind of find Blake Lively to be a little bit annoying. But since when is being annoying a crime? If it was, I wouldn't be here on the Taylor Swift podcast. That's the thing.
It's so hard to do any sort of Blake Lively conversation at the moment because people are so annoying. I made 2 videos about it and tapped out of the conversation. And every day I get hundreds of comments of people being like, address it again, apologize. Don't you feel stupid? Like, girls, I'm not going there. So if you want to do that conversation in the comments, you can't. I'm blocking you. You're not allowed to participate. You can do that everywhere else. The entire internet's talking about it. That's not what we're talking about today. So anything we're saying comes from the lens of them independently of this situation. How funny was their relationship? I put a 2 out of 10 because I'm not laughing.
0.
I'm not laughing.
0.
Who's laughing?
I didn't laugh. 0.
I didn't cheer. How much I like them independently. I put a 3 because I actually do like some of Blake Lively's stuff. Everybody that I feel neutral on, I gave a 5. So this is a 3 with Ryan Reynolds dragging the score down.
So I put 2. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants carried the score. Hair, Blake Lively hair carried the score. We like to see the hair when the hair walks into the room. I like to see it. Ryan Reynolds, you are not allowed in the room and you need to get out.
You can't.
The only
you
time
can
I
get
liked
behind
him,
the hair.
The only movie I liked him in is Detective Pikachu because he wasn't in it. He was the voice of Pikachu. You see how that works? You see how that works?
I can't even think of a Ryan Reynolds movie, to be honest. Did Taylor make them more interesting? I did give this a 7 out of 10 because I think she did. Like, who was checking for this? I don't ever remember them being referred to as like a powerful A-list Hollywood couple until Taylor Swift befriended them for multiple years. Like, they were just kind of nothings to me.
Oh, that's
I know they're
interesting.
rich, but they weren't like super. It's not like either of them has a really prolific career in entertainment.
I don't think that's true. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He's in the MCU. So I said 2 out of 10.
I don't engage with that. So
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I said 2 out of 10 because I think they kind of were a power couple before that. Blake Lively, I don't know why, but people do kind of consider her to be that, even though she has like 1 movie a year and sometimes it does good and sometimes it doesn't. And Ryan Reynolds is like fully Deadpool, and that's like it's like one of the biggest franchises in the Marvel universe.
Okay,
so I said 2 out of 10.
The losers and Legos can have that one.
The losers and Legos of the world, you can have that one.
Is it memorable and iconic? Now, here's the gag. 7 out of 10 because it is very memorable in the sense that this friendship is starting to look more embarrassing by the day. Given the anecdote, and we have not spoken about this, given the anecdote that that was included in the lawsuit where Blake refers to Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds as her dragons.
Now that's none of my business. Now it's none of my business. That is something I don't engage because everybody wants to engage. They want to talk about it. I'm saying leave me out of it because I'm not in the court. You know, I'm not on the jury.
Yeah.
I'm not the judge. I'm not the judge. But that is a good point. That is a good point because meanwhile I'm over here and I put 0 out of 10 and I said we really DGAF. I don't care if the friendship ended tomorrow. I wouldn't know a thing. That's what I'm saying.
We wouldn't know a thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's true. How good of a friend were they to Taylor Swift? Now, I had to score them pretty high here because they were, and Taylor has said this herself, her refuge during Snakegate, during cancellation period. She was staying at their house. Really, the more interesting question would be, how good of a friend is Taylor Swift to Blake Lively? Because
let's ask the question.
That would be 2 out of 10 lately. That would be 2 out of 10.
Yes, that seems to be the way that it's going. However, I agree with what you said, and I'm saying 8 out of 10 for how good of friends they were to Taylor, because I think they have been good friends to her. Whether I think Blake is boring, whether I think Ryan Reynolds is by far the worst Ryan, it doesn't matter, because they're there, they show up at her parties, they say she's the best thing since sliced bread, And that's all we need to know. So yeah, they're good friends.
She names her songs after their children, and that's on period. Favorite moment? This was hard because they all suck. So I can't say Ryan Reynolds painting Stonewall. Can't say that. I can say I Bet You Think About Me music video, or I can say Gorgeous with their daughter in the beginning, and I'm leaning more towards Gorgeous.
So I chose I Bet You Think About Me music video for Blake, and I chose that because I really liked the looks in that video. I think that it's kind of hard when Red, the album, has like such like built-in like from before visuals to be able to add a new visual to the canon that was like memorable. I thought Blake did that at least. I liked the video. I thought it was cute. For Ryan, I said Pain Stonewall. What else am I supposed to say?
And my total score for these two was 27 out of 50.
Oh, this is killing me. Mine was 12 out of 50.
Okay, well, back to brighter topics of conversation. We have the diva, the one and only pint-sized princess. You may know her from being short and sweet, Ms. Sabrina Carpenter. How funny was it? I gave it an 8 out of 10. I mean, it's not like hilarious. There haven't been any like true Idgeball moments, but I feel like together they Idgeball.
I said 2 out of 10. I said 2 out of 10 just because I wasn't thinking of it like, oh, they're, clowning. I'm sure they are clowning all the time. I was thinking of it like, do I laugh about the fact that they're friends? Well, no. Do I laugh about anything they do publicly? No, I'm not laughing. I'm serious. I'm saying that's Barbie and Polly Pocket. And that's all there is to it.
It is Barbie and Polly Pocket. That's the best thing about their friendship, actually, is that it just is. And that makes it really funny. I think it's funny to see the Barbie and Polly Pocket allegations and also the mini-me allegations, like the photos of them together, like the height difference. Like I'm always idgeballing.
It's pretty cute. Yeah.
So it's funny to me. How much do I like her? 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
If you asked me literally this time last year when I was getting ready to see her in the front row at the Eras Tour for 6 nights in a row, probably would have given it a 6 or even a 5 or a 4. But today, it's a 10.
Today we say 10. Today we say 10, and thank God. And thank God we say 10 today, because it was the same for me. 2 years ago, I wouldn't be saying 10.
I wouldn't be saying 10.
Praise the Lord.
But we evolve. Things change. Artists develop and mature. Did Taylor make her more interesting? I gave her a 10 out of 10 on this one. I had to.
Interesting. I said 7 out of 10. I said 7 out of 10 because I think the Eras Tour and proximity to Taylor was definitely a key component to her short and sweet era being like her biggest era yet. I'm not saying it's the only thing. That was kind of why I didn't give her like the full 10, as I was like, well, I mean, she did make a good album. And she did Coachella, she did this, she did that. But I do think Eras Tour and being close to Taylor and being Taylor's friend really kind of helped her out in that department. So I agree. She definitely
Well, I don't
helped.
think Jack Antonoff would have been entering a studio with Sabrina Carpenter if Taylor Swift wasn't a connection between the two of them, if I have to speak my truth. Based on the material that was provided before, I don't see him running into the studio to be with her. And I genuinely think that if there was no Taylor, like we wouldn't have had a short and sweet. It's not to say that she didn't make a good album and that she couldn't have been successful, but I don't think it could have been the moment that it was without the building period of her being friends with Taylor for so long. And she used the Taylor Swift playbook of get a man, make him interesting, make the public interested in the man, write songs about the man, break up with the man.
Well, interesting. Okay.
That's my feeling. Memorable and iconic. I put 8 out of 10.
I put 8 out of 10 as well. In
Hilarious.
terms of I cheered. I cheered. That's why
I love to see pictures of them. Pretty girls. Let's throw flowers at them.
Barbie and Polly Pocket. What else is there to say?
How good of a friend is Sabrina to Taylor? Now, I gave her an 8 out of 10 here because I just think they haven't been friends that long. So I don't know like how deep or close their relationship is. And I feel like it's probably more of a Taylor Swift mentor, big sister to Sabrina. So I don't know that she's calling Sabrina when she has a problem. I think she's probably calling Blake.
Well, yes.
Maybe we should switch up that strategy. Maybe we should change that up.
So I said 9 out of 10. I said 9 out of 10.
Well, yes.
So
and your favorite moment from Sabrina and Taylor? Tabrina?
So my favorite moment was the Sabrina mega mashup on the Eras Tour that she did. That was a delicious moment. I also liked them at Coachella as well, but
yes, that's actually an underrated one. I put Tay Nostradamus commenting Summer of Sabrina when Espresso dropped.
Well, yes.
She was right, and she should say
it. She was
it.
right, and she should have said it, and she was been right the whole time. You see how that works?
I got a total score for Ms. Carpenter of 44 out of 50.
My total score is 36 out of 50.
Bootsina up next. Well, it's a flop summit. It's
the
girl.
other one. I always think of like, especially like when you
one.
put them back to back with Sabrina and Gracie, it's like, oh, the other one. It's the other one. The other
Tay
kinda,
nepotism.
I say the Cinderella. You know, they put her in the closet. They had her mopping the floors, and they said, "You can't go to the ball," and she said, "I'm going to the ball anyway." Ooh, ooh. She's so true.
And the ball happened. The ball took place.
We can't deny it. The ball literally happened. I'm happy.
Gracie Abrams and Taylor Swift. How funny was it? I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I think it's hilarious that Taylor keeps shoving her down our throats as the next greatest songwriter of all time. That's funny to me.
I gave it 0 out of 10. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing.
She's not laughing. How much do I like her independently? I'm sorry. I had to give her a 2 out of 10.
I gave her a 5 out of 10. I told you one of my pop culture New Year's resolutions is I'm
stop
leaving
talking about
Gracie Abrams alone. So I'm saying 5 out of 10. That's right. I let her cook. I was
asked the question by this task, and I had to speak my truth. I had to be honest. How do I feel about Gracie Abrams? I'm sick of it. It actually almost has nothing to do with her, but it also has everything to do with her. So it has to be a 2 out of 10. Did Taylor make her more interesting? 2 out of 10. Because I wasn't interested at all before, and now she has been thrust onto my radar. So she gets a 2.
So I said 8 out of 10 for this one. I definitely think without Taylor, I think without Taylor, without her being on the Eras tour, without her writing that co-write song on The Secret of Us, I'm not sure if we would have seen this level of success at this point. Also, I think like the degree to which so many people hate her has really helped her get to this point. And I think the reason so many people hate her is because Taylor has repeatedly shoved her down everybody's throats. So I'm saying 8 out of 10. I'm saying 8 out of 10.
Nepotism doesn't always work. Nepotism sometimes backfires. And, well, what can we say about that? Memorable and iconic moments, 1 out of 10. I'm not remembering, and it's not iconic.
So all I didn't even put a score. It just says, in terms of what exactly? That's not,
No, exactly, Madeline. Exactly. What are we even speaking of?
I've got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing.
She came out here on the London stage in her Sheen Halsey clothes, and she assaulted us. Is that iconic? If so, then 10 out of 10.
If that's what you call iconery, then she's taken home the trophy, ladies and gentlemen. But
she's not.
Not such.
How good of a friend is she to Taylor? I gave her an 8 out of 10. She seems like a nice girl.
I gave her 9 out of 10 on this one as well. She does seem like a nice girl. And I also kind of think that it's kind of like what you said about Sabrina with like older sister, little sister kind of a thing. And I think that Taylor, for whatever reason, I think she genuinely does kind of see Gracie as like the Tay daughter, her successor, and that's her truth. And I think they have like a really kind of like specific kind of relationship that's really kind of like sweet. So 9 out of 10.
What was your favorite moment, Madeline?
So my favorite friendship moment, Gracie and Taylor, I put when they got drunk and wrote a song together and then got nominated for a Grammy. You see what the Taylor effect can do for you. You see what can happen when you befriend the Swiftie. You see that?
Well, I gave her a total score, I think, of like 21 or 22 out of 50.
Mine is 22 out of 50.
Sorry, Gracie Abrams.
Sorry, Gracie
You
Abrams.
lose.
Another day for Gracie.
Well, up next, we're back at the Itch Ball Factory. It's Jack Antonoff. How funny was it? 10 out of 10. Those two are always clowning.
I gave them a 4 out of 10. I think they're kind of funny.
Well, because you're not laughing at it. You're laughing with it.
I don't know.
Sometimes
they
we
are
are
funny
laughing
together.
at it, though.
No, sometimes we are laughing at it. They're goofy. They're really dorky together. So, but I still said 4 out of 10 because I was thinking like, is it funny that they're friends? In which case, no. It's not funny. It just is. But they are funny together.
How much do we like Jack Antonoff? I gave him a 7 out of 10 because I hate bleachers. And I think that he should never sing, ever. And anytime he does sing, I'm in pain. And I think he should stop. So I had to dock him 3 points for the noise terrorism.
So I gave him 7 out of 10 as well. And I just think she's a cute girl. Cute next to gorgeous. You know what I mean?
Gorgeous devours cute.
in terms of like the people that are around him in this particular list, I just kind of think it's more of a, not that they aren't very good friends, because I think they are, but when I think of their friendship, I think of it in terms of the work, and I think of the professional relationship. So, I mean, without Taylor, you know what I mean?
What are we doing?
So, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I like him.
Did Taylor make him more interesting? 10 out
10
of 10. She 100%
10 out of
did.
10.
No one was listening. He said it himself. He said it himself in his Grammy speech. Nobody would ever have put me in a room or thought of me as a producer if it wasn't for Taylor Swift. I mean, she really elevated him to the upper echelons and made him one of the most relevant pop producers in music history. So yeah.
Write that down. So 10 out of 10.
Jot that down.
Absolutely.
Memorable and iconic. I gave it a 9 out of 10 because I think of the moments like writing the Getaway Car Bridge and just how many things he was a central part of. Cruel Summer. We have to clap and cheer.
I gave it a 9 out of 10 as well. Because,
wow, we're really cooking the books on this one.
We're cooking the books. We make the rules around here. And that's what we decided to say.
How good of a friend is he to Taylor? I gave him a 9 out of 10 because I think sometimes his job requires him to be disloyal to her by working with people that maybe don't like her or have been mean to her. I'm looking at Maddie Healy specifically.
Oh, interesting.
So that would be my only docked point, and it's a small quibble.
I gave him a 10 out of 10.
And I think he deserves. What was your favorite moment of theirs together?
So my favorite moment that I always think about is when they were... all three of them, Aaron, Jack, and Taylor, were together for Long Pond studio sessions, and they would have those like, round table discussions about the songs, and it would be Jack and Taylor going absolutely ballistic for like 5 straight minutes talking to each other, and Aaron just sitting there like this. They don't let him talk. Let him in.
They don't let him
in
talk.
the room, because they
let
really
the
like
fella speak.
Their energies are so like bouncing off each other all the time, and Aaron just like can't get in there, and he doesn't want to get in there. That's the truth. So I love
That's
that.
two
I love them.
golden retrievers and a black cat.
Yeah. I love their like triad dynamic. I think it's really cute.
My favorite moment was when, because I just think it reveals their goofiness, they messed up their handshake at the 2016 Grammys.
Oh, yeah.
You got to stop doing that. You have to stop with the handshake. Nobody thinks that it's cute. Nobody thinks that it's funny. Nobody thinks that it's endearing. Stop it.
Oh, this is new. I like the handshake.
I'm over it. I'm over it. If it's not the Parent Trap handshake, put it away.
Ooh, I wish they would do the Parent Trap handshake.
Exactly. See, that would slay. The handshake they have is a flop. It's like not a real handshake. It's just like, and they can't get it right. If you can't do it.
We need to come up with the handshake. I bet, one of these lonely, dark nights on the tour bus, we gotta start cooking up It'll be an interpretive handshake.
Dance. And it's gonna be snakish, and you will gag.
Yeah.
The total score I gave him was a 45 out of 50.
He got a 40 out of 50 from me. 40 out of 50.
Wow. Wow.
That's not bad.
Up next, we have Gigi Hadid. How funny it was. I gave this an 8 out of 10 because this is an unlikely pairing in friendship.
Oh, that's funny that you say that. I guess they've just been friends for so long that I forget that it was kind of weird. I said a 2 out of 10 because, well, I don't think everybody knows this, but I am obsessed with Bella Hadid. She's kind of like I think about her all the time. Every time I see her, awooga, I'm like obsessed with Bella Hadid. So just because Gigi Hadid is Bella Hadid adjacent, I'm not laughing. This is very serious to me.
It's serious to you. Well, yeah.
So serious. Well, yeah.
She ate half an almond and she woke up.
2 out of 10.
That's exactly what happened. How much do I like her? I gave Gigi, now this is my first neutral, so I gave her a 5 out of 10. I don't think about Gigi Hadid ever, and I don't care about her. And anytime I have seen her speak, it has not, her words have not stuck in my brain. She is just there all the time. And I see her and I go, that's Gigi Hadid. And then the thought ends.
I understand that. Honestly, maybe if it wasn't for Bella Hadid and the adjacency to Bella Hadid, maybe I would think the same. But I said 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Gigi.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Did Taylor make her more interesting? 10 out of 10. Yes.
Oh.
I was not interested before.
So I said 7 out of 10. I think Gigi already kind of is interesting. I kind of think like the Hadid sisters. Again, my opinion is different because I have a
Yeah,
particular
I'm not
vested
really
interest.
into either of them. So
I have a vested interest.
Zero interest.
So I just kind of like the sister models thing. I also really enjoyed watching them on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I think they're cute. I like them. So I kind of thought they were interesting already. And I think they're two of like the most talented models, in my opinion. I'm saying this as somebody who doesn't know anything about modeling, by the way. So somebody was like,
Kendall Jenner over.
You don't
That's all
know
I have to say.
anything about, you don't.
They're better than
Gigi's
Kendall
Hadid
Jenner.
walk is bad. And it's just like, I don't care about that. I'm interested in the photos. So 7 out of 10.
And you're looking respectfully and disrespectfully.
Thank you.
Is it memorable and iconic? I gave it an 8 out of 10 because, the friendship was born in the midst of the girl squad. Gigi Hadid was one of the first members that was onboarded and one of the only surviving squad members that wasn't in the squad before it became a thing. So that makes her quite interesting in a way. She's also been there for a lot of like the most memorable Taylor stuff. The Ralph Lauren fashion show with the red boots.
Oh, we were there.
That.
We were there.
I don't remember what Gigi was wearing, but I know that she was there. I know that she was there. And that makes her kind of iconic.
I said 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Listen, I am who I am.
Hadid blindness. Hadid blindness, literally. How good of a friend is she to Taylor? I gave her a 10 out of 10. I know that Gigi Hadid knows everything. If I had to pick one person to give the truth serum to, it's not even Jack, it's Gigi. I know she knows everything.
10 out of 10 for me as well. I just think like the fact that I know she knows everything, in addition to the fact that she's never said anything.
Never.
Best friend.
Not
number one.
Once. And she's not like always posting Taylor.
Nope.
Like it is a very low-key, real friendship. Favorite moments? I like the one where Taylor's in an Uber. I think it's with Gigi and Zayn, and I Don't Want to Live Forever is on the radio. And like Taylor's like, yay, my song's on the radio. And Zayn is like, I don't give. Gigi's there.
I literally love. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's so funny. Also, I would, when I was like making my list and like looking into the friendship to find moments. Do you remember that Gigi Hadid and Joe Jonas dated?
Yeah,
I forgot about it, and I remembered it. They dated for like 10 seconds, and the article was like Taylor gives her blessing. I was like, Taylor's had to give her blessings to a lot of things
many times
over
she's
the
had to
years.
Say, just you wait and see to so many different girls, and they waited, and all of them saw. Also,
I think it's worth it to note that Gigi Hadid's little nickname that she came up for herself in the Bad Blood video was "quote unquote" Slazy, and that's a crime I don't think we can forget.
That is
it's bad. It's bad. There's some worse ones.
Okay.
I have a couple of the other memorable ones in here. One of them is really, really horrible. I can't remember whose it was. Oh, it's Martha Hunt's, who's right up next.
Well, Gigi Hadid, another iconic moment I wanted to share about her and Taylor is it just flew out of my brain, so never mind. It literally just left me as I was about to say.
See how that happens?
Oh no, here it is. It came back. Remember when Taylor was disappeared? She was gone. She was silent. The only window we had into where the hell she was or what she was doing was Gigi Hadid's Snapchat story. Because every so often she would post a video and Taylor was there in the background on the couch watching something on television. The cats.
Well, the cats.
She was T Swift NZ when we didn't have T Swift NZ.
And we needed that more than ever. So thank you to Gigi Hadid. Your courage.
Taylor Source.
Taylor Source, your courage knows no bounds. And we will remember you for all time. Thank you, Gigi.
Speaking of people that we will not remember for all time, up next is Martha Hunt.
And who the hell is that?
Who the hell
Though it's
is
the way
that?
I've Googled her at least a dozen times ever since they first met one another to remind myself who she is, and I can never remember. I had to Google her again.
I don't know what her face looks like.
I think my new phone has been missing something, and I think
we have to make it better.
These have been the missing pieces.
Now it's perfect.
Oh, Martha, you didn't.
Yeah, it does. I have no recall of who she is.
When I was looking at her today, I thought she kind of looked like bootleg Margot Robbie.
Yeah. Margot Robbie, if Margot Robbie didn't slay as much.
Yeah. If she had a forgettable face.
How funny it was. 0 out of 10. I wasn't laughing. There was nothing to laugh about.
Yeah, I said 0 out of 10 too.
How much do I like her independently? Well, 5 is a neutral, and I don't know anything about her, so I gave her a 4.
I said 0 because I don't know who she is.
Did Taylor make her more interesting? I had to give her a 4 because I would never even know her if it wasn't for Taylor.
I said 0 out of 10 because I still can't remember her. So you tell me.
Sometimes the Tay nepotism doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Memorable and iconic, 2 out of 10. That was being generous.
Yeah, I gave her 2 out of 10 because she was an original Girl Squad member and she stuck around. So same thing as Gigi. Like, you were there and you stayed. So for that, we kind of have to give you your flower crown.
I gave her a 10 out of 10 for how good of a friend she is to Taylor. Sure.
I gave her a 9 out of 10 for that one because I was like, well, obviously she's still here. And obviously, there's some bestiness going on. So sure, there you go.
She's doing something right. Favorite moment, there isn't one.
I have nothing as well. Nothing has ever happened. Nothing has ever happened. Remember when she was on the Victoria's Secret fashion show? Yep. Thank you.
She was?
She was.
I don't remember that. Well, there
she
was.
Yes. So Martha Hunt's total score for me is an 11 out of 50. It's not very good. Makes me feel bad.
I give her a 20 out of 50 because she got that 10 for being a good friend.
I feel bad because, like, obviously she's a good friend of Taylor, but she didn't have the points. She didn't. We're not interested in her.
This is about who is our favorite Taylor friend, not who Taylor's best friend is.
Right.
And up next is another person who I really need to confess I don't know who this is. Ashley Avignone. She's been around forever. Like, she really has been around for so long. And I have always been like, what is your business here?
I always wonder the same thing. I didn't know who she was then. I still don't know who she is now. I know that she's like a stylist and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, she's like a fashion person, but she's Taylor's full-time foot soldier. She's just like always accompanying Taylor places. I wonder if she like works with Joseph Castle and like, I don't know, like touches Taylor's makeup up when they're out and about or helps her carry the bag. Like, who knows what she does? Not us.
We don't know. We don't know. I know that much.
So how funny? 0 out of 10.
I said 0 out of 10 too. I've never laughed. There's something to laugh at. You see how that works?
How much do I like her? I gave her a 4 out of 10. I don't dislike her, but she's been around for a long time. I give her the credit for that.
I said 1 out of 10. I don't know her. I don't know her.
Did Taylor make her more interesting? 4 out of 10. I know her only because of Taylor.
I said 2 out of 10. She's not interesting. I don't know her.
Memorable and iconic. 2 out of 10.
I said 2 out of 10, again, for sticking around and being a bestie.
How good of a friend? I gave her a 10. There's got to be a reason why she's around. Taylor doesn't have that many friends that are enduring through that many eras.
I gave her a 10 out of 10 as well because... and that's on period. My fave friendship moment, and I only know this because I was looking into it. She was in the tent that fateful day when Maddie Healy came to see the Eras tour. So she was in there.
Was. She's seen it all.
Yeah. Also, those iconic pictures from the Red era of Ashley, Diana, and Taylor in the flower crowns in her kitchen. I love those pictures. Those are some really iconic pictures. At Tumblr.
Was she in the 22 music video? She might have been. It was a flop summit. The cast was a flop summit. I'm sorry,
she's got one of those faces
like
that just like I can't remember it. I cannot remember.
No facial recognition detected.
Also, she kind of looks like the lost fourth Haim sister to me.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
And they are often with Taylor as well, so it's confusing. So
she blends right in. She's just a Haim sister, the one that we didn't know about. You know what I mean?
I gave her 20 out of 50. Same as Martha Hunt.
I gave her a 15 out of 50.
Well, now it's time to get to someone who actually matters, okay? Someone who has gotten up off her and given everything that she had to a boy who changed his mind. Someone whose trauma has been exploited and drudged up time and again for the benefit of Taylor Swift. It is Ms. Abigail Anderson / whatever her last name is after her 18th marriage.
Now hold on.
I'm just kidding.
It's a joke. It's a joke, everybody.
Abigail has been divorced. That's why it's a joke.
Whether she's divorced or not, divorced, not divorced, she is single. the original best friend. She truly is. I don't have a ton to say about Abigail other than I do really think it's fascinating that her and Taylor have been friends like ever since then, and the friendship has been maintained. I personally have never been able to maintain all of my oldest friendships. They just like fizzle out. You know, it's not even like, oh, I had so many bad falling outs. It's just like, it's hard to keep in touch with people. So I'm always really impressed that like, and I really do think it's Taylor going out of her way to maintain it with Abigail because it's important to her and it's been so long. So I have to clap and cheer. I just have to clap and cheer. Old friends.
I would
friends.
imagine that Taylor living a normal life is a very far away, distant memory. And I think she probably often aches for a version of that. And Abigail is like the closest thing that she can have with it because she grew up kind of in parallel with Abigail. And Abigail didn't become famous. She didn't try to become an influencer. She is Taylor Swift's best friend, and that is her role. And otherwise, she's a civilian. So I think Taylor like kind of lives vicariously through her in a way. And, you know, it probably reminds her of who she is. It can be, you know, disorienting to be around all these Hollywood people with their agents, their managers. I'm sure she's like, Abigail, can you clock out from work for a half hour to get a sweet green and sit in the Speak Now Nashville condo and just shoot the and tell me about the normal, boring office gossip that you have?
Yeah, tell me about what Sandy did this week. Did she eat your lunch
What's it like
again?
to ride the bus?
Yeah.
What's a bus fare these days? Tell me, girl. How do you
Inquiring
manage your
minds
own
wanna
Uber
know.
account?
Inquiring
What's
minds
that
want
like?
to know.
Taylor's probably never been in an Uber.
No,
Probably
which is so freaky to think about. But
Mhm.
she knows the general idea. She I mean, she rides
know-
in the back of cars
she
all
has-
the time.
She has a driver and a private car. She is
Yep.
Uber in a way.
She is super.
So how funny was it? 10 out of 10. I've been laughing. Chewbacca, those girls have been having a good time all these years. Laughing, chortling. And I also laughed.
I gave them a 5 out of 10 for that. They were funny together. All the stupid YouTube videos they used to make. I was there.
Her appearances in the vlogs.
I
How
was
much
there.
do I like her? 8 out of 10. I
So
like her a lot.
I said 5 out of 10. So
Huh?
I said, well, because she's just like a
This
normal girl.
fake
She's not pretty.
Swifty.
I've always liked her, but it's not like, you know, what do you know about her, really?
I know that she's everything. That's what I know.
Right, exactly.
Okay? Hand, heart.
Exactly. And that's
Hand,
on period.
heart.
And that is on
13
period.
on hand, 13-hour
And
meet and
that's
greet.
on period.
Did Taylor make her more interesting? 10 out of 10. Because, I mean, we wouldn't be talking about Abigail if there was no Taylor.
So I said 2 out of 10 because I'm just kind of thinking about her in terms of like not really being a celebrity. So it's kind of hard to compare. It's kind of hard to compare like Sabrina and like Abigail in terms of like, did they make her more interesting? Because it's like Abigail kind of has like her own life. So I don't really think
she does.
It's. I just kind of was thinking of it differently. So I just said 2 out of 10 for that.
Is it memorable and iconic? Well, I gave it a 10 out of 10 because it's the damn blueprint and we have 15.
I gave it a 10 out of 10 as well because it's a tale as old as time. It is a
Mhm.
tale as old as time.
And when they were really trying to still sell us as Taylor Swift is a normal person, she's just like you, Abigail was a big part of that myth making. She's in Journey to Fearless. She's literally interviewed in it.
Yeah, but she talks about 15. I mean, isn't that crazy? She's like one of the only Taylor, quote unquote, muses who has ever sat down and been interviewed about the fact that they are.
What you don't see is
Yep.
the gun behind the camera and the script.
Right.
That's what you don't
Exactly.
see.
That's what you don't see. That's what you don't see.
How good of a friend is she to Taylor? 10 out of 10.
I said 10 out of 10 as well.
She doesn't get anything else from her. She doesn't get
Right.
clout. She doesn't get fame.
Right.
Does she get a check? We don't know that. I do wonder this. Sometimes I'm like, Taylor, you have so much money. Do you ever just like send your friends like $10,000? Like someone like Abigail. I'm sure if you sent her like $50K once a year, it's nothing to you, but that could really like, I don't know, help her get a deposit on a home. Who knows?
Well, yeah, I would imagine. I would think like gift giving is probably pretty big to Taylor because I mean, when you have that much money, I mean, come on, a little bit of
And
Gucci,
gift giving,
a little
and
Prada.
we know she loves it. She loves to
And
gift.
she does love to give gifts. She even likes to give gifts to people who have no idea they're being given a gift from Taylor Swift. I'm talking about babies. I'm talking about babies
who don't deserve it.
Yeah.
By the way, they don't deserve
By the
it.
way.
So what was your favorite moment? My favorite moment was, first of all, I don't know if you guys know, but I went to a secret session and Abigail was there and she showed us her ring, and seeing her in person was so weird because she just is normal. Like she's just a normal person and everybody was screaming at her. And I was like, see, this doesn't make sense. And Taylor was like acting weird with her. So that was like a strange experience. Like she just seemed more normal. It made Taylor seem more normal. So I loved that. And also the dashboard confessional moment where Taylor surprised Abigail with one of their favorite high school
that's
bands.
so good. Yeah.
I'm just asking a random question. Do we have anyone here named Chris Caraba? Is there a Chris Caraba? Is there a Chris Caraba?
I was like, that's girlhood. That's friendship.
So I put for mine when she was in the Picture to Burn video because I thought that she was an Oscar-winning actress. She won
With her
Oscars.
nose ring.
She literally won Oscars. I also put when they dressed up as Chewbacca and when they went prom dress shopping together.
She has
I love
iconic
that.
hair too. She has a gorgeous mane.
She has a gorgeous mane. I mean, some might say she was chaperone before there was a chaperone. Some people might say that.
That's true. That is true. Well,
It's actually
Abigail
like-
got a near perfect score from me at 48 over 50.
For me, she has a 32 out of 50.
Okay. Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's
I
the
feel
way
like,
the
what the
cookie
main
crumbles.
difference in our ranking strategies are? We interpreted how funny was it differently.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I was just thinking of it when I was thinking of it. I was thinking of it in terms of like when you think about them being friends, is that funny to you?
Yeah.
And
No, I
most
see what
of
you
the
mean.
time, yeah. But yeah,
Up next, we have someone who is a joker, someone who created a song with Taylor that I have never heard, Ed Sheeran.
So
How
now-
funny was it?
are you talking about the Joker and the Queen? You've never heard that song?
Yep.
Unfortunately, I've
Never
heard
heard
it
it
like
before.
4 times, and it was 4 times too many. I don't think there's anybody. We always say there's always somebody caping for a Taylor Swift song. I don't think there is a soul alive who's out there caping for Joker and the Queen. Seriously.
I issue you a challenge to let us know if you are, but don't do it for clout. Don't do it for a bit. Only do it if you really feel it in your heart. And you don't, so you won't.
So you won't. You see how that works?
So funniness?
I said 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. They've had some laughs.
I said 8 out of 10, but because more I like laugh at them because I think they're kind of like losers together.
Oh, period. Well, and we knew that. we
We
that.
knew that. How much do I like him? I said 3 out of 10 brackets pod person.
Yeah. Let's call a spade a spade.
He's been
I
taken
think,
over.
I think both of our scores for this would be a little bit higher if this was 2012. In 2012, I thought this was the
10 out of
second
10.
coming.
He
like
was the
them being
man.
friends. Yeah. He was like one of the few like male artists that I was really interested in back then. So I probably would have had.
He
given
was
them a
the
higher
male
score.
Taylor Swift to us
Yeah.
back then, which is
Which
crazy,
is crazy.
talk.
I gave him a 5 out of 10. Pretty neutral, and I do think this is a case of like his proximity to Taylor and his friendship with Taylor makes me like him more. I think if they weren't
Mhm.
friends, I wouldn't like him. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
like him.
he's like
So-
I don't like his attitude. He seems to be kind of like smug and arrogant.
Oh, interesting.
I remember him hearing. I heard an interview of him talking about how like it's so easy to make a hit and how pop music is just an algorithm, and like he was so obsessed with learning how to game the charts. And I was like, see, now that makes
See,
me
now
think you're a
that's
pop
not-
person.
See, that's like soulless discussion. That's like
Mhm.
I don't like
That's
that.
what
That's
I
like-
mean. He doesn't have a
he's-
soul,
He's
so
like
that's why he got
AI
the 3 out of
generating
10.
pop songs. You see how that works?
Mhm.
You see how that works?
See, you see how it doesn't work. You see how it doesn't work. Did Taylor make it more interesting? I gave him a 10 out of 10. She did. I mean, he would have, I think, just flopped into nothingness had Taylor not really been around, lifting him up and elevating him. He was the opening act on the Red Tour, lest we forget.
I gave him a 4 out of 10 for this one. I think he was already kind of on a trajectory to be Ed Sheeran, and the Red Tour definitely helped, and like being in proximity to Taylor again definitely helped. But he was already like, there was a reason we thought it was such a big deal they were making songs together. It's because he was
Yeah.
the male Taylor Swift, and he
Mhm.
was like
True.
already Ed Sheeran. So I said 4 out of 10 for this one.
Memorable and iconic, I gave it an 8 out of 10 because it is kind of the Sheeran lore was very important to losers with Tumblr accounts in 2012. And we were both those losers with Tumblr accounts. So there is a part of me that thinks of that Lego house cover video of them singing in the hallway at the embassy.
Some of us remember it. Some of us were there. I said 9 out of 10.
Mhm.
He's the most repeated feature in the discography. I mean,
It's
what do you want
baffling.
me to say?
It's
what do you want me to
baffling.
say?
But it also makes perfect sense.
It does.
It also makes perfect sense.
It does.
How good of a friend is he to Taylor? Now, this one was interesting to me because I have noticed a cooling off period of time between their friendship. I think they're still friends, but he was very slow to say anything about the master recording situation. And before he said anything in support of Taylor, he made kind of like a snarky-ish comment about how he shouldn't have to address something like this. And I say, when you are the recipient of Tay nepotism, you must simply be a warrior. And you have been a warrior in the past. So what's stopping you, redhead?
Interesting. Yeah. I gave him an 8 out of 10 on this one. Specifically, I docked him points because I think he was freaky when it comes to certain things. For example, John Mayer is somebody that he's kind of like, not like they're
Right.
BFFs or anything, but I'm just saying, like, that's kind of something that I think is a little bit interesting. So I docked him points for that as well because I do kind of think that they're not like BFF. You know what I mean? Like, they're not constantly talking.
They may have been once, but they are not now.
But they're
Well-
definitely still friendly, and I think they definitely still respect each other as artists. And I think if Taylor called him and said, "Hey, you want to be on a feature again?" he would say, "Hell yeah, brother."
Well, he's got nothing else going on, so of course he would say yes.
What is the thing? Oh, my favorite. What did I say for my favorite friend moment? Oh, when he came out as a clown during We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together on the Red
that
Tour.
was funny.
She
I did the
really
every-
was gagged.
She was gagged by that, and also that was a tour that was plagued by random people coming on stage. So I think she was.
She was really
genuinely like,
scared for a second.
"Ah!"
Like, who is that?
Everything has changed on the X Factor was my moment that I picked. I just think it's such a
That's
cutesy,
such a good performance.
demure performance, and Taylor looks gorgina.
She does.
It's really
That's
more
actually a
about Taylor
performance.
than him.
It's
But he was
actually a
there.
performance I think about a lot when I think about like old Taylor, like the old Taylor. There's something about that performance that really takes me back. Just
had
everything,
her high
everything has
pony.
changed with Ed Sheeran in general. Just like really reminds me of the old Taylor.
Yeah,
those were the
it's like a very
days.
specific message in a bottle, if you
Yeah.
will.
It's a message in a bottle.
Up next, Haim. How funny was it? 10 out of 10, because I think that they are the ugly stepsisters, and Taylor making them so in the Bejeweled music video is one of the rudest things that anyone has ever done to those girls. And I think it's hilarious.
And they stood there and they took it. That's what really killed me. And
They
that's what really
delivered
killed me.
the lines with enthusiasm.
I said 0 out of 10. I said 0 out of 10 for them.
You're not laughing.
not
Madeline is a
laughing.
noted Haim not enjoyer.
Well, it's and you know what? It's really lessened over time. And the reason that I disliked them actually had nothing to do with Taylor. I disliked Haim because I just kind of never really liked their music, and everybody was
Fair.
like really, really into them. And you know, it's like one of those situations where like you literally don't get it, and everybody around you is like, it's so good that you just start disliking them because you're like, I don't
Mhm.
get it. Why is everybody so obsessed with this? It's not that good. And I want to ask, well, when's the last Haim hit been? I'm asking you, when's the last hit? Anybody seen the hit? So maybe I was right all these years.
She
Did you ever
makes
think
a
about that?
point.
Did you
How
ever
much
think about
do
that?
I like them? I gave them a 7 out of 10, and I also gave them a 7 out of 10 for did Taylor make them more interesting? Because I actually do enjoy the music. So I've met them. I met them at Laneway when I was like 17 years old through the crowd. They were so nice. So that left a good impression on me.
So how much I like them? I said 1 out of 10. Did Taylor make them more interesting? I said 3 out of 10 for this one. I gave them the bone. I said they had their
T?
own thing going on. That's definitely true. They were known as like the cool girl kind of group. And I think associating with Taylor just kind of like put them on another level for a second. But I don't think many people do not care. People who are into Haim, people who are into things like Haim, do not care that Taylor Swift is their friend. So I said 3 out of 10.
Memorable and iconic. I kind of put them at an 8 out of 10 because they're always at the scene of the crime. Like they were surrounding her in her first big post-Joe pap walk. Like they flank Taylor when
Right,
she's in
yeah.
times of crisis.
That's a good point.
So I raised the bar for them a little bit.
So I said 2 out of 10 for memorable and iconic. I don't remember. I forget. I like to forget.
How good of a friend are they? I think they're 10 out of 10 friends to Taylor, to be honest.
So I said 9 out of 10 because I do think they are really good friends to Taylor, and I think that they are very supportive, and I think Taylor supports them back, and I clap and I cheer.
Well, yes, my favorite moment for them is probably that pap walk that I just mentioned, or Gasoline. I really like that song, and I liked the performance Taylor did with them where she matched their freak and wore the same outfit. And then they did a horrible mashup with Love Story, but I ignored that part and I just listened to the Gasoline part.
I put when they did Nobody No Crime for the first time, and I was there in Seattle. I mean,
Well,
jot that down.
yes, we have
Write
to
that
clap for
down.
that.
It was
An
amazing.
embarrassing moment is when they did Hot in Here with Nelly.
No memory.
Embarrassing
No
moment.
memory of that. Thank God I don't remember
1989
that.
tour. Very
God I don't remember that.
embarrassing. Up next, and this rounds out kind of the current besties in the Taylor Swift universe. Brittany Mahomes.
El Diablo.
I don't
El
think
Diablo.
we've actually even talked about this on the pod as of yet, but our time has come.
And you know what really bothers me is when I was sitting down to make this list, you have to admit that she's not to the caliber of
No.
the other people that we've been discussing.
Not at all.
She literally is just a lady.
She's a
just
wag.
a lady who happens to be in the conversation because one fateful day 2 years ago now, was it? Travis Kelce decided he wanted to go see the Eras Tour. So now we have to deal with Brittany Mahomes. You see how that works? You
One of
see
the
how that works?
Plagues of heterosexuality, I think, for women is how they are expected to like be best friends with their spouse's best friend's spouse.
Right.
Like I see this a lot. Like you really want to try and make the best impression on your boyfriend's best friend's wife, or if you're planning to be in their life for a long time. And so in my heart of hearts, I like to think that Taylor would not associate with a person like this if it weren't for that connection. But she has been flaunting this relationship in a way that is so baffling to me. I can only think that she actually really enjoys her company, and that sadly lowers my estimation of Taylor ever so slightly. It does.
I'm not cheering.
We
Let's
can't
put it that way.
defend.
I'm not
We
cheering.
can't
I'm not defending
defend.
it.
I'm not dying on that hill. Sorry,
No,
Taylor,
it's
you
not
die on it. Your choice.
Yeah, if it's your friend, you die on the hill because I don't
Mhm.
want to. I don't think that she is an upstanding citizen. I'll put it that
No.
way. She's not an upstanding citizen. Fave friendship moment, I don't have one. How funny was it? 0. How much do we like them? 0. Did Taylor make them interesting? 0. Get a job. Was it memorable? 0. Get a job. How good of a friend they are to Taylor? 0. Get a job. I think she's a stage 5 Claire.
Yeah, I got 0 for everything except I did put memorable, iconic 5 out of 10 because no people are obsessed with this friendship in a bad way. They're angry about it. People are obsessed.
There's even people who really like it as well, which is frightening. So you do make a point, but I wanted her to have that big fat 0, and that's what I gave her, and that's what she's getting. 0 out of 50. Thank you,
She
everyone.
got a 15 out of 50 from me. That's what she got. Who's up next? What is our next category that we went to? Is this like the dearly departed friends? Like people that are like kind of still around, but like not fully in the
This
mix?
is like more tangential, you know, maybe like an old friend or like people that she doesn't really talk to as much anymore. Or also you could say like people that we don't really know the status of their relationship at this point.
Right. And who are we starting with?
Cara Delevingne. You ever heard of her?
Oh, for
Does anybody know who that is? I need someone to tell me why I'm supposed to still care about her in the year of our Lord 2025. I will give to Cara. She was like a really big figure of the 2010s. She was really representative of like Tumblr era, and she was a model, and she was in movies like the John Green movie, and so she was in a lot of stuff.
She tried to be an actress.
Yeah, and she was interesting back then. I will give her that, but I just don't really get, you know, it's like, what are we still doing here?
The highest score I gave her an 8 out of 10 for being a good friend to Taylor, because it seems like, you know, she never said anything bad. But my total score for her was 16 out of 50. Not interested.
My score was 15 out of 50 for her. I really didn't have much to say about her. I said she was an OG Girl Squad member, so I gave her some points for that. Taylor's never made her more interesting because at the time when they were being friends, she was on top of the world. Like she was literally Cara
she was
Delevingne,
the Instagram Tumblr girl.
And I remember it being such a thing that like Taylor was friends with her because like Cara was like the definition of cool girl back then. And for a time, Taylor was not cool. Like it was not cool to like Taylor, and it wasn't cool to be in Taylor's orbit. So I remember thinking like when they were friends, oh, this is so cool. Like Taylor's gonna get in with the cool girl crowd and this, that, and the other thing. So that's
and the
kind
Girl
of what
Squad
I
was a
about
rebrand for her. It was a rebrand into being cooler, and Cara Delevingne was an essential component of that. But regardless, we didn't move. We don't care.
Did you know
and also,
that
there's so many from that time? It's like Martha Hunt, Karlie Kloss, Cara Delevingne. It's like they just blend together.
When I was looking her up to get information about this, I discovered something that I either didn't know or forgot about. In 2024, Cara Delevingne was saying that after a bad breakup, she lived in Taylor's house.
Yes, I did see that. I'd like to know which house.
I want to know which house. I want to know when. I want to know why. And Cara was saying all this like funny stuff about how like, oh, you know, like I was having her like wild out and this, that, and the other thing. And, you know, like I always wanted to make her blush and like this, that, and the other thing. I was like, this sounds crazy. I wish I was a fly on the wall for that fateful week.
You know who would love to talk to you about that? The Gaylors. I'm sure they would. I'm sure they're going to be in these comments sharing their thoughts.
Well, share away. Share away.
No, don't. No, don't share away. You're not safe here. This is not a safe space for the Gaylors. Up next, and this is one of my personal Idgeball favorite Taylor Swift friendships, it's Camila Cabello. How funny was it? I gave it a perfect 10 out of 10 because she broke up a girl group by poaching Camila away to be in her girl squad. That was hilarious to me. She played in their faces, the group, while she was breaking up the girl group by inviting them to her tour and squeezing into their costumes and saying, I'm going to take your friend away from you. Sorry. And then she also tried to take nepotism Camila to the top of the charts, and it didn't really work. And then when that was no longer serving her, Taylor said, I need Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter is literally the 2020s version of the Camila Cabello to Taylor Swift.
For how funny it was, I said 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10.
You weren't laughing.
I wasn't laughing. Well,
laughing.
I never had any investment in this Fifth Harmony stuff. And I've said this.
Oh, I cared.
I wasn't in Fifth Harmony. I wasn't in Little Mix.
Cared
all of
so
this
much.
Stuff went completely over my head at the time that it happened.
Independently out of 10, I rated her an 8. I like Camila.
I gave her a 4 out of 10. I've always been kind of middling on Camila. I neither dislike her nor do I like her. I do find myself wishing, I think that she could do better things. I think that all the time. And I find myself wishing that she would really like put out something that I think is good. Like really good, not just okay, which is like most things that I think about her. So I don't dislike her and I am like kind of rooting for her, but 4 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, I think for memorable and iconic, I put an 8 out of 10 because of all the things that I mentioned that I think are funny about it. You know, the same reasons why I think it's funny are the same reasons why I think it's iconic. And also she was just featured a lot. She was on the Reputation tour. She was in the AMA medley. She was a Tay warrior in ways that we have to commend.
I gave her a 3 out of 10. I think a lot of people forget that they were friends.
But it's funny when you remind them, because when you look in the archives, she was everywhere all the time.
She was all over the place. And what did it get her? I'm asking you.
This is the
what
thing.
Did it get her?
What did you manage to make of that, my girl? Good friend? I gave her a 10 out of 10. I think, again, if anybody wasn't being a good friend, it wasn't Camila.
So I gave her a 5 out of 10 because for me, in the back of my mind, I kind of always got a sense of like an energy of I'm kind of using this opportunity to get a leg up in my career. And now, especially since they're like, they don't really seem to interact anymore. That was just kind of like that was just kind of like my feeling about it.
Well, why not? My favorite iconic friendship moment of theirs is when their text leaked and they were making fun of Katy Perry's hair.
I completely forgot about that. You said that and I was like processing it. I completely 100% forgot about that. The text leak, what I remember from the text leak, and I feel like we were just talking about this.
We were.
Where was that, like 2-3 weeks ago? It was when she was in a weird relationship with Michael from 5SOS, and it was all their like weird like couple.
Sexting.
It really wasn't that weird. Honestly, like that's probably
it just shouldn't have been public.
It shouldn't have been reading it. We shouldn't have been reading it. Booty
and
come back.
Did.
I think about a lot. Booty come back.
And also,
we did.
It silenced me as well that Taylor in her text to Camila was referring to Calvin as Adam. I was like, I shouldn't be reading this. This is none of my business.
This is none of my business. And yet your eyes were, it was like SpongeBob.
Eyes peeled. Eyes peeled.
So
Up next what was your did you have a moment you wanted to share?
I do have a moment. I have a moment I'd like to share. So my favorite friendship moment is when Fifth Harmony came out on the 1989 tour and they put her in one of their little outfits and it didn't look good and they made her do the choreography and she didn't do it well. They humiliated her on the world stage.
And she deserved it because she broke up the band. She deserved it.
You see how that works?
She literally asked for it. So my total score for Camila was 44 out of 50.
Mine is 20 out of 50.
You see how that works?
Well, listen,
Up
don't say that
next.
we don't have our own individual opinions. Okay,
We do. The
We
Steak
do.
Nation is divided at times, but it comes back together. And it's coming back together for Lana Del Rey, who is up next. How funny is this? I gave it a 10 out of 10 because I think this friendship is hysterical. I cannot imagine how these two people get along.
So I put 4 out of 10 because it does make me laugh from time to time. It is kind of funny that they're friends. But you know what the thing is? They used to say all the time. They were like, Lana would hate Taylor. Taylor would hate Lana. I always believed.
What say you now?
I always believed.
And Lana was always running her mouth, and she never ran her mouth about Taylor. Never.
But she
Back
knew
in
better.
the day, she would say anything
She would say anything. She said
anyone
a lot of things. Okay.
for free,
Yep.
but not about. She talked about Stephanie Germanotta. Yeah, she did. We booed you off the stage in Williamsburg. Yeah, the hell she did.
Now hold on. Wait a second. What are you talking about?
Lana has an
Lady
unreleased
Gaga?
song. Yes, Lana has an unreleased song. Both her and Lady Gaga were trying to like come up in the New York singer-songwriter scene. This was before Lady Gaga had like developed the Lady Gaga persona.
Oh.
And Lana wrote a song basically after Gaga took off, because she took off a lot sooner than Lana did, basically calling her fake and saying like, you're bad. I remember when we booed you off the stage in Williamsburg. You're a flop. It's a song. You should listen to
And
it.
you know, Lana's one to talk because I seem to remember some of her early works on the stage. Oh, Daddy, when come home from school. Oh, Lana.
Yeah, neither
And
of you
that's
was
just good
playing
and
with a
fun.
full bag of tricks at that point. Okay.
No, that's
But-
interesting. I need to look into this. That's hilarious.
But she said nothing about Taylor, and that I have to say, how much do I like Lana independently of Taylor? Well, 10, 10, 10s across the board. Duh.
So I gave Lana a 7 out of 10. I definitely like Lana. I definitely like Lana's music, but she can really piss me off sometimes.
Well, that's true. I'm always screaming about something that she's done. But I'm usually mad at one of her creative decisions. Her personal life is like just itch ball material for me, like marrying Gator Man.
Oh, the
Well,
Gator
yes.
Man. No, that's what we like Lana for. That's the good stuff right
Mhm,
there. I
mhm.
mean, that's the fuel because that's not going to last. Let's know that
No
together. It's a waste of
way,
time
no
to get
way.
mad about that. Come on, just enjoy the ride.
Mhm. Totally agree. Did Taylor make her more interesting? I put a 0 out of 10 because no.
So, I gave her a 2 out of 10. Lana already is very interesting. I don't know why I gave her a 2. What is my reasoning for that? I guess maybe somebody could make the argument. I wouldn't, for the record. I'm not saying this, but somebody could make the argument, you know, maybe like Taylor like brought her back into public consciousness. I don't think that.
Oh, I
I
wouldn't
don't
make
think
that
it.
argument.
I
I would
don't
never
think
make
that.
that.
I don't think that. But if somebody could, why did I say 2 out of 10? I don't know. Because I think Lana already has been incredibly interesting. So I don't know.
Period.
Who knows what
Memorable
I think?
and iconic of their friendship. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 just from the abysmal performance by Taylor Swift towards Lana Del Rey at the Grammys. People noticed that it was memorable.
So I said 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Because I
Mhm.
mean,
It's iconic.
it's iconic. It's Lana and Taylor, and people were
It's a
waiting
meeting
for a
of the
long time.
minds.
People were waiting for a long time for those two minds to meet, and the minds met, and so I have to cheer.
Good friend, I gave her an 8 out of 10 because I don't know that Lana is a great friend in general. I think that she's a bit of a self-absorbed queen, and like
Well.
that is as it should be. We need that. We've been needing it.
So I said 5 out of 10. I just because I didn't think it's like bestiehood. I think they like each other. I think they respect each other as artists. I think they can hang out and have a key. But I don't think it's let me call Lana. I don't think it's let me call Taylor. I think it's they
No.
know when to call, and if they see each other at the function, like at Jack Antonoff's wedding, they say, "Oh hey," and they dance the night away. But then they're not really
Mhm.
calling. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. I think the same way. My total score for Lana was 35 out of 50.
So I gave her a 26 out of 50.
There we go. My favorite moment, iconic moment, was Lana, are you okay? That
Yes,
video
that's what I
with the
put down.
umbrella.
Lana, you good? She got the umbrella. No.
No, I'm
So
not.
funny.
And also them meeting for the first time at the EMAs because the picture of the two of them
Oh.
together on the red carpet, that was all we had for a long
Say,
time.
Remember me. That's
And it
what
was
I was saying
everything.
every time. It was
It
everything
was
to
everything to all of us.
me. Mhm.
Well, thank you, Lana. Up next, we have another dearly departed ? Emma Stone. How funny was it? 6 out of 10? I just kind of randomly spit that one out.
You made that number. You just made that up. I
just made that up.
I gave it 0 out of 10. I'm not laughing. This is deeply serious to me.
It's serious.
This is my, you know, these are my secret texts. These are my secret texts.
Independently, how much did I like Emma Stone? 9 out of 10. I met her. She's a gorgeous girl. She's a sweet person. She's a talented lady. What else can you say?
Talented lady. Easy A, greatest movie ever made. I don't know why that's the one that came into my mind.
You're right. That's the one.
It is a beloved movie. It truly is. Everybody loves that movie.
Yeah, I agree with you. Did Taylor make her more interesting? I gave her a 6 out of 10 here because Emma Stone was kind of already, she was it. Taylor was kind of made more interesting by Emma a little bit.
Now, let's open this case up. I said she was already Emma Stone. At the time they were becoming friends, it was a big deal that they were becoming friends because, hello.
It was a vote of credibility for Taylor.
So I said 1 out of 10.
Was it memorable and iconic? When Emma falls in love? Well, of course it was.
10 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
10 out of 10. To me, 10. 10's across the board.
And was she a good friend? I gave her a 10.
So
I have no reason to think otherwise.
That's the thing. I gave her a 7 because I guess I just was thinking, I don't really know where they stand today. I definitely think they were good friends in 2010 when Speak Now was coming out and all that. I mean, hello, listen to When Emma Falls in Love and tells me that Taylor wasn't looking up to her like she was the goddess in the moon. Seriously. But I put 7 out of 10 just because I'm not really sure where they stand today. I know they're friendly. I know that they are there was no big falling out. It was just kind of like, you know, different paths. Emma's a mom.
People grow apart.
You know what I mean?
Your lives go in different directions. She's also doesn't seem to be about that life when it comes to fame. She's never had social media, and Taylor is the monster on the hill. She wants the applause, and that might have diverged them.
She also just like isn't somebody who's getting paparazzi pictures of herself, so it's like they could be hanging out and we don't know because she doesn't want to.
She went to 3 Eras tour shows, by the way, so she's
drop that down.
She's present, like she's around. My total score for them was 39, and my favorite moment was the Vanity Fair Oscar party where Taylor's in the gold mini dress. And
I
Emma
know exactly what you're talking
blonde
about.
Bangs.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. So I gave her a 28 out of 50, and my fave friendship moment is when they went out for Pinkberry for frozen yogurt, and Taylor had straight hair for the first time in a very long time. I remember these; they're like imprinted onto my eyelids.
Was she wearing a Wonderstruck bag in those photos?
I can't remember, but she was wearing a black coat. She's in Pinkberry. She's looking like she doesn't want to have her picture taken.
She was always
she went to
Pinkberry
with all Speak Now era. She was going with Hayley Williams. She was going with Taylor Lautner. She was going with Emma Stone. Do the math. She loved Pinkberry, and I've never been. And I remember back then, I would have given anything for a sweet, delicious cup of Pinkberry, which I'm sure to people who have been to Pinkberry, that is pathetic. But I'm telling you my truth. I wanted to go really badly.
We're going to find one in Nashville. We're going to go to the one she went to.
Pinkberry? Excuse me. Is this
serious.
the Pinkberry where Taylor Swift came to in 2010?
I'm dead ass serious about that. We're going to Centennial Park. We're going to Pinkberry, and we're going to the Bluebird Cafe. And God said yes.
That sounds like a really good day.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Diana Agron up next. Now, this is where the Gaylors really need to cease contacting us, cease and desist. Don't come anywhere near me.
I've had enough of this lady. I really have had enough of this
lady.
I've
had enough of you, you beast.
Do you know what's funny?
She is not a good actress. She's not funny.
Let's start there.
She's not interesting. She has done nothing of importance ever in her life other than be in Glee as a character that nobody cared about.
Did you see that Diana Agron Updates account got so fed up with the fact that Diana refuses to get a job and get her ass up and work so that they have something to update about, that they quit being Diana Agron Updates? They were like, I'm
even
out of
Sky
here.
Ferreira update accounts still go.
Nope, not the Diana Agron. No, they quit.
Diana Agron. Well, I can't blame them.
I really can't. No, the irrelevancy is killing me. It really is.
The irrelevancy is insane. I mean, so I'm just going to speed through my categories here. I think independently, how much do I like her? I'm neutral. I don't care. Did Taylor make her more interesting? 5 out of 10. I guess not, because she was already on Glee, so people were talking about her. Was it memorable and iconic? I gave it a 7 out of 10 because unfortunately there's a specific subset of people with a mental illness that are obsessed with Diana Agron and Taylor Swift. So it had to be given a little bit of a high score there. Was she a good friend to Taylor? I gave her a 7 out of 10 because she's never crossed her or said anything weird about her. The iconic moment was the photo of them where Taylor's wearing a tiger costume.
Oh, that is a good picture. That's a really good picture. She looks so cute in that picture. They both look really good in that picture. So I said how funny it was. 3 out of 10. I've LOL'd at some Gaylor conspiracies. I've LOL'd.
They are funny. Yeah, they're crazy.
Funny. How much do I like her? 2 out of 10. I don't dislike her. She was good in Shiva Baby. I watched it. I thought she was good.
Oh, she was good in that. I completely forgot she was in it, though.
Well, that says enough on its own. Did Taylor make them more interesting? I said 4 out of 10 because, like you said, she was on Glee. She was already kind of getting the job done. Was it memorable or iconic? I said 0 out of 10 because she needs to get a job. How good of a friend they were to Taylor? I said 6 out of 10. I think Diana was a good friend at a time where Taylor needed some good friends. So I gave her a 6 out of 10 for that moment.
She got a 30 out of 50 for me total.
She got a 15 from me.
Wow, I scored her way too high. Way too high. Up next we have, and I kind of want to skip over this one. Would you mind? Could we just give our total scores and move on? I don't have a lot to say about this.
Okay, yeah.
Phoebe
We talk about Phoebe?
Bridgers.
Miss Phoebe.
Nothing new is interesting, and that's about it. Do you have anything?
Anything
like to
of
share?
note to say? Do I have anything to share? I love Nothing New. I remember when she brought Maddie Healy up onto the Eras Tour stage.
Yeah, that was the thing that she did.
I like Phoebe. I like the friendship. I don't think that they're super close. I think that they were proximity friends because of, lest we forget, Paul Mescal and Joe were in
Being
that weird
forever.
group chat together, and it was like that. I mean, it's part of the lore, so I guess we have that.
The Loser Man's Club or whatever it was called.
The Loser Man's Club. So I think they were proximity friends, which isn't to say that now they don't like one another. I just think that they don't really talk as much as they used to because they're not around each other as much anymore.
Yes, agreed. So I gave her a 23 out of 50. That was my total score for her.
She got an 18 out of 50 for me.
Sorry, Phoebe. Up next, a lady, a woman, a legend, a pioneer, an artist, an actress, an activist, a visionary, a Nepo baby, a goddess,
Nepo baby?
really.
I didn't know she was a Nepo baby.
Her parents are famous artists. I don't know if that counts.
Oh,
but
like
they are.
Like artists, like paint?
Yeah, like her dad is a photographer and her mom does like sculptures or something. So she's like a rich New York girl. That's her delusional girl.
Didn't we already know that?
See, we've been knowing this. We've been knowing this. And I, of course, talking about the one and only Queena Dunham. I'm the only person in the world that calls her Queena Dunham.
There's got to be others.
There are other people that believe in Queena. Lena! She's my queen. She is my queen.
Reminds me of that gag in Arrested Development when it's like, there are dozens of us. Dozens. That's exactly.
And it's true.
The Lena Dunham fandom. There are dozens of us. There are
dozens. There are more than one of us. There are more than one of us. How funny was it? 10 out of 10. This was a hilarious friendship.
I gave it a 3 out of 10. But y'all cast Lena Dunham.
You weren't laughing?
But y'all cast
Lena Dunham.
No, I never was laughing. I don't think I ever laughed.
In hindsight, I'm laughing. Oh, I'm laughing. It was very ironic. It was very funny. It was very delusional, sort of spoken from this delusional girl persona that I've constructed over the years, etc.
Exactly.
Independently, how much do I like Lena Dunham outside of Taylor Swift? I know Madeline gave a 10. I gave an 8.
So I gave a 3 out of 10. I neither like nor dislike Lena Dunham. She's one of those people that I don't like. Unfortunately, I do find myself having to defend her repeatedly against the fat phobics of the world, and I'm tired of doing it. Can you people give her a fucking rest?
Many.
Of which there are many. Regrettably many. So that's enough now. That's enough. Thank you.
Did Taylor make her more interesting? I went with a 7 out of 10 here because I think she definitely elevated her profile.
Oh, interesting. I gave her a 1 out of 10 for this because I kind of remember thinking this was a big dealio. Like, ooh, Lena Dunham. Because this was during the time, and I don't even know her. That's the thing. I don't even know the career like that. But I remember thinking, ooh,
she was an auteur.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
No, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think that Taylor exposed Lena to mass market.
Unfortunately,
she had a lot of indie cred,
that didn't do anything for her. I really think that
it didn't help her.
Actually backfired in such a huge way because before all that, they were saying she was this, that, and the other thing, and then the next thing you know,
you don't even want to get into the things I said about her.
Girl, no more. So
you don't want to hear what they were saying. Was she memorable and iconic? I mean, I gave it a 10 out of 10 because she did something very instrumental, which was introduce Taylor Swift to feminism. Literally, she has been credited by Taylor Swift as the one who unlocked her feminist awakening. And you can tell by the way that Taylor has navigated her feminism, that she learned it from the pioneering feminist of Lena Dunham, Queena work. So that was very important to the foundation of 1989 and girl bossing. I don't think she would have moved to New York if it wasn't for the TV show Girls. I think she watched that and said, oh, it needs to be me. I need to be there. I need to be the cool girl with the cool people. But y'all cast Lena Dunham. Hello?
But y'all cast Lena Dunham. So one could argue that without Lena, there would be no girl bossing. So jot that down. I said 5 out of 10. I said 5 out of 10.
Good friend, I gave her a 10 out of 10 because I think she's only said nice things about her. And I think that she's gone out of her way to not put Taylor in the middle of like her and Jack's situation and whatever the hell that was. Because there is the Jack, Taylor, Lorde, and Lena. That business is very interesting to me. It's a web I would like to untangle, but I think that Lena kept Taylor out of it.
So I said 7 out of 10. I have no reason to think that Lena has been anything but a good friend to Taylor. I don't know how close they are anymore. I think they definitely still talk. I think they definitely still hang out, but Lena's not really as much in the spotlight as she was. I think she had a really hard few years. So I don't really think it's of any interest to her to re-engage.
I think Taylor was at her wedding. I believe Taylor was at her wedding. And I like to see that. Also, Lena has one of the worst appearances in the Bad Blood music video.
Yeah.
Not aesthetically. I just mean the way that she's shoehorned into it.
My favorite Lena Dunham and Taylor Swift moment is when it was on Watch What Happens Live when Lena Dunham was on with Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Right.
And what was the question?
What a pairing.
It
was about like, Calvin Harris? It was like, which one?
It was about Jake Gyllenhaal. It was like, which one of Taylor's exes do you not like the most? And,
no, it was Calvin. She was talking about Calvin. She was talking about Calvin.
And Andy was like, keep in mind that you're sitting next to Maggie Gyllenhaal right now. And she was like, no, it's fine. It was Calvin Harris. But it's like, it was just funny because Maggie Gyllenhaal was sitting right there. And like, obviously everybody was thinking about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Where she was asked about the scarf too. And she was like, what scarf? And Lena was like, zoop, zoop.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
So I give her a 45 out of 50. I'm the Queen of Dunham stan.
19 out of 50.
All right, next. This one I also don't have a lot to say about, to be honest. So I'll just give you my overall score and my overarching thoughts. I Spice, 30 out of 50, which is actually pretty high. Mostly because I think it's really funny. And I think she's a good friend to Taylor in that Taylor sometimes needs a friend to sit with her. And I Spice is always available.
So I gave her a 21 out of 50 overall. I kind of think she's in the same vein as Gracie and Sabrina. I think it's like an older sister, younger sister thing. So I kind of am curious about like them hanging out. Like, what do they talk about? Do they talk about like the industry? Do they talk about being like girls in the industry and what it was like for Taylor when she was really young? But I feel like it's like such different experiences for both of them. So I would be really curious to see what they talk about. I think it's a cute friendship. I think it's an interesting friendship. It has longevity. They're still hanging out. 21 out of 50.
There we go. There we go. And last but not least, in the friends but not best friends anymore category is Hayley Williams. How funny was this? I gave this a 2 out of 10 because it was serious to me.
I gave it a 0 out of 10. I never laughed. I never laughed. This is again sacred text. Any Speak Now friendship.
It's very important to us.
Anything that happened in Speak Now, sacred text. I don't mess with it. I don't mess with it.
Independently, how much do I like Hayley Williams? I gave her an 8 out of 10.
I gave her a 10 out of 10. That's the diva.
Well, of course.
That's the girl. That's the girl right there.
Did Taylor make her more interesting? I gave her a 6 out of 10 here because Hayley is interesting without Taylor.
So I put 0 because I said she's Hayley Williams. I mean.
Well, yes. Is it a memorable and iconic friendship? I did give this a 4 because I just forget about it sometimes. But
you do.
When I remember it,
that's
I'm happy.
What he says. That's not what I said because I said 10 out of 10. I said 10 out of 10 and I've never forgotten it. Never once. Never once.
You remember it all too well. Good friend. I gave her a 10 out of 10. She's a wonderful lady. I know that.
I actually gave her an 8 out of 10, only because I think that there's been some pockets where they weren't really hanging out anymore or talking or anything like that. And it's not like because Hayley did anything or Taylor did anything, it's just kind of like drifting apart. But I do think that friendship that they formed in Nashville of like being female artists from Nashville, hanging out in Nashville all the time, that was really a good bonding experience. And I kind of think it's for life. It's for life.
I
What
agree.
can I say?
I wish I could have this moment for life. Well, you can, Queen. You can. So I gave it a total score of 30 out of 50. And my memorable moment was I have 2. That's what you get on the Damn Speak Now tour. Okay. First and foremost, we clapped and we cheered. Second of all, I didn't realize this. Andrea Swift connected them as friends. She approached Hayley Williams at
Yeah.
a party and said, "My daughter doesn't have a lot of friends her age. Can I give her your number?" And Hayley
That's
Williams
very
said
cute.
yes.
And the next thing you know, they're BFFs. You know what?
Next thing you know,
I can't even
there's a
talk
little
about that.
orange pocket rocket next to the Barbie.
And I think we should talk about it. So I have a really niche one because I didn't know about this and I thought it was really funny when I found it. So this is a quote from an article. Actually, this is from Taylor Swift Wiki, by the way, who was everything to me in this excursion. Quote, on December 11th, 2020, Swift thanked Williams for praising Evermore while referencing Hayley's debut studio album released the same year, Petals for Armor. Taylor did not interact with anybody else's commentary on Evermore. Let's say that.
And
Say
that
it. Taylor
get
did
when you
only
let your heart win.
interacted with Hayley Williams's comment on Evermore. She didn't have anything else to say to anybody else. You see how
Pitchfork,
that works?
we don't care. New York
You
Times, we didn't
see how that
ask.
works? Hayley Williams's opinion is the only one she was looking for. And you knew damn well Hayley was going to be an Evermore girl. Write that down. 28 out of 50.
That down.
Write it down.
All right. Now we're into the exiled friends, people that we know for sure are not on it with Taylor anymore. And the first one is Soraya. Soraya is one of the funniest Taylor friendships to me because it was so obviously I need to DEI my girl squad or else my feminism card is going to get revoked. So who's available? And Soraya was available. She was available for a period of time. She, however, did end up turning on Taylor and kind of exposed the girl squad as fake empowerment and liked many shady comments on Instagram about Taylor.
You know what I thought was really interesting about this is when I was looking for the shady stuff that she did, because I knew that happened, but I couldn't remember what it was. So
it was so hard to find.
I Googled Soraya comments about Taylor Swift, and I found this interview she did in 2022 with Sway, where she had nothing but nice things to say about Taylor.
You
Absolutely
see, but you
nothing
remember,
but
don't
nice
you?
things to say
You
about
remember
Taylor.
when
No,
she was in a place
yes.
of
It
shade.
was stuff about liking shady stuff. There was also a rumor about her leaking information to the press. Obviously, it's just a rumor, but she liked like a couple of shady things on social media. Honestly, it's not anything worse than what Zendaya did.
No.
But yeah, she said all this nice stuff on Sway. It was like, oh, she's an amazing writer. I've always wanted to collaborate with her. And, you know, that was like such a fun time when we were young, like hanging out. And I was like, that's interesting. Because that's
not how I remember it.
That's
yeah.
not the opinion of the fandom. Again, I had to like dig
could
and
be
dig
wrong.
and dig
We don't
to
know
find
what
evidence
happened.
of this even happening. But I always remember she's one that stands out. And I also do kind of agree with the sentiment that it felt like she was just kind of like plugged in. And that was kind of the public sentiment of it. And obviously Soraya doesn't feel that way. So there you go. But
there you go. I mean, I gave her a total score of 19 out of 50.
I gave her a score of 9 out of 50. It's just she turncoated, and like now I think it's more of a case of like I really respect who she is and like what she does in the industry. I think you just get caught up. Sometimes you get caught up, you know. Everybody's turning
Or sometimes
on.
someone puts a microphone in your face and you say something you regret. Been
Yeah.
there.
Been there.
Been
Been
there.
there. A few times too many, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
Up next, we have an enduring mystery. Some people are going to argue and say that this is not the case, but I know the truth. Lorde and Taylor, not friends anymore. How funny was it? 0 out of 10. I was not laughing. It was deeply serious and important to me. Mm-hmm.
So I gave it a 5 out of 10. I gave it a 5 out of 10 because I thought, if anybody remembers when Lorde went on her, you know, hi everybody, my name is Lorde tour, and she talked badly
I
about
hate
Selena
Selena
Gomez.
Gomez.
She
I
talked
hate
badly
Taylor
about Lana
Swift.
Del
I hate
Rey.
Lana Del Rey.
I hate Taylor Swift. Like if right out the gate, and everybody was starting to
Everyone.
really like turn on her at that time. And Taylor decided to like get ahead of it. And this is actually like one of my favorite things she's
Graciously.
ever done. And she invited Lorde to like come hang out with her, and they went and got hamburgers. There's like pictures of it on the internet, and like that was a huge moment because this was like pre 1989, ladies and gentlemen.
That was Tay politics.
That was Tay politics.
Tay Olive
And
Branch.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Lorde got to hear style before anyone else did
And
on the PCH.
she didn't deserve
And
it.
that
I want to hear
she
it on
did
the
not
PCH.
deserve it
I want to hear that on the
for the
PCH
first time.
right now.
Not Taylor's version, and jot that down.
Yeah.
From enemies to besties, and then who knows what again. How much do I like Lorde independently of Taylor? I gave her a 9 out of 10 because sometimes she's really annoying. But it's a very small, the same thing that bothers me about Lorde is the same thing that bothers me about Charlie, but Lorde does it a lot less frequently. So she gets a 9.
So I gave Lorde a 7 out of 10. I think that she's kind of like Lana in that I like her, but she irritates the hell out of me too.
Mm-hmm. There's things that she does that are indefensible, such as create an album called Solar Power, you know?
To some people, that's the case.
It's just one of those things. Did Taylor make her more interesting? I gave her a 6 here because I think she definitely helped Lorde become more of a pop star. I don't think that helped Lorde in the end, but it gave her more brand awareness.
In the end, I like that term. Like it's over now. They know the
In the
career
end.
is gone. Well, she won't put out the 4th album. I'll tell you that. So
We
maybe the
haven't
career
heard
is
it.
over. I gave
404
her,
not found.
I gave her a 5 out of 10 on this one. You know,
Mhm.
it wasn't that she was really young and she was just starting out, and I think Taylor was so huge, and I think that olive branch that Taylor extended to her in the beginning, it didn't help. I'm not saying that it made her career what it is, but I definitely think it helped because, like I said, people were really starting to say this little girl is doing a little bit too much of this, and I think Taylor really kind of helped her with
Taylor
that.
Taylor
because-
came in and said, "Just shut your mouth. That's the solution. Just be quiet.
You can't
quiet,
make these
Tiffany.
kind of comments.
You don't have to answer every question.
Not about
you can say
Selena.
nope.
Not about
You can
Selena.
say nope. Yeah, I'm sure she got a good talking to about that comment she made about Selena because Taylor was not playing at that period
No.
of time.
Oh no.
Memorable and iconic. I gave it a 10 out of 10. I mean, there are so many iconic friend moments here. Lorde hating her and Selena, of course. Her making a joke that being friends with Taylor is like being friends with someone that has a very rare autoimmune disorder and getting canceled for saying that.
No, that's iconic.
The general pictures of Taylor being like light, easy breezy princess and Lorde in pure heroine era looking like Satan worshiper next to her. Hilarious to me. The photos from the after party from the Grammys where Lorde posted an Instagram and said, when your friend is a gazelle, so you have to chop her out. And you can just see Taylor's iconic body, and Lorde looking slay. I mean, I think it was iconic.
I gave it a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 for iconery. It
Okay,
burned
well.
bright and it faded fast. It burned bright and it faded fast, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, here we come to the interesting category. Good friend. I gave her a 7.
I gave her 4 because I don't know anything. I don't have that answer. Based on what I know, based on what the streets say, based on what the rumors are.
What do you feel? What's your feeling?
I don't think they're friends anymore, but I don't know why. It's like there's so many different rumors. And it's like it's almost unfair to be like, well, Lorde is the one who did something bad. It's like I don't know that.
We
I
don't
don't know that.
We
But
don't know.
I gave her a 4 out of 10 because it just felt kind of middling to me. It's like I literally have no idea.
There's
So I
something
just put 4.
dark-sided about it. About the way that they're not friends anymore. There's something like serious about it. I don't know what it is, but it freaks me out.
It's something that we will never know. I'll tell you that for free. I'll tell you that for free.
So she got a 32 out of 50 from me.
She got a 26 out of 50 from me.
Up next, Todrick Hall. How funny was it? 10 out of 10, baby.
I gave it 8 out of 10. I'm still laughing today. I'm still laughing to this day. Seriously, one of the most hilarious things that's ever happened in the history of the Taylor Swift fandom.
This was another DEI hire. She was like, we need a gay in here to consult on my awakening and my gay
And
music
boy,
video.
did we get one. Boy,
Yep.
did we get one.
You paid for an opinion and you got one.
Yep.
How much independently do I like Todrick Hall? 0 out of 10. Did Taylor make him more interesting? 0 out of 10.
So I gave him 0 out of 10. Did you know that he scammed children out of money for a dance singing camp and then never had the camp?
I didn't know that.
And that is the tip of the iceberg too, because I was like, what is the problematic stuff he's done? So I was Googling it. That's the first thing
it's
I
long.
saw.
It's
and I
long.
saw, that's all I need to know. That's all I need
That's
to know.
actually enough.
Yep.
Thank you. Scamming the
You can't
children.
scam children. You can't scam children who want to learn to sing and dance. You can't do that.
You
No,
can't.
0 out of 10.
Would Taylor Swift do that? She would never do that.
No,
she
0
would
out of
never
10.
do that. Was it memorable and iconic? Now, I gave a 7 here because he single-handedly orchestrated the flop of You Need to Calm Down. That is iconic. Whether it's good or bad is not my business. But yeah, that's why I gave it that.
I gave this category 8 out of 10 for Todrick. I mean, we're talking about it, aren't we?
We're laughing about
talking
it to this
and we're
day.
laughing. So 8 out of 10.
Was he a good friend? I gave it a 5 out of 10 because I don't truly believe they were ever friends, and I don't believe Taylor would ever have told him something that like would not be allowed to be shared in public. Like I think she knew his number from the beginning and, you know, distanced herself almost immediately after she brought him in, which is again a bad friend moment on behalf of her. But I think, you know, he hasn't said anything terrible. He says only nice things about her when asked. So I think he's just waiting, hoping one day she'll pick up the phone again.
I said 0 out of 10. I kind of thought he was always like a stage 5 clinger. I just thought that
opportunist.
He
couldn't
completely...
believe his luck. He couldn't believe his luck when Taylor blessed him with this opportunity.
And well, what did he make out of the situation? Nothing. He completely pissed
Fake
it down the
camp
drain.
for children.
Fake camp for children,
That's what he
among other
made.
things. Among other things. Iconic moments when he showed some girl on a plane his text with Taylor and they were all blue. Just hundreds of unanswered texts. That is a good one. I also put when she did a terrible job of painting his nails in Miss Americana, and he was like, "You're so talented. You could do this for a job. It's so amazing." And it zoomed in on them, and they were like horrible. I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
And this is what we mean when we say yes, man.
Yep.
Up next, it's the crook who got caught. How funny was it? 10 out of 10. I
said 6 out of 10. She wanted to be Pride. I was making my own name. She wanted to be Pride. I was making my own name.
Too
Not
funny.
even to dinner with the Kushners? I'm asking
Not
you.
even to dinner with the Kushners. The
6 out of
way she never recovered from being eaten up in that manner. She really didn't. How much independently do I like her? 0 out of 10. What's to like? Quickly.
I said 1 out of 10. Back then, if you had asked me this when they were at the height of their friendship,
I loved her. I can't
been,
lie. I was obsessed with her.
I would have been coding with Klossy. I would have 100% been coding with Klossy.
I wanted those cookies. I wanted to eat those foul, nasty looking cookies.
But today,
I wanted one.
I really think she just kind of made herself look like a jack in the whole situation. So 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. That's what you get.
Hand played badly. That is what I think of when I think of her. Did Taylor make her more interesting? 10 out of 10. Who the hell was checking for Karlie Kloss other than Taylor Swift?
Yeah, she was like, I never really understood the fascination with Victoria's Secret models. To be honest with you, I never really got that. So I never really thought she was interesting, and I don't think she would have like risen to like mainstream fame the way she had if it wasn't for Taylor, because she got way more famous after that. So jot that down. 6 out of 10.
Memorable and iconic, 8 out of 10. Well, it created Gaylerism. So, like, that is, I mean, the founding origin story of one of the biggest roots of evil in the world. So, you know, just the way that Al Qaeda is iconic, so is Gaylor, and so is Karlie Kloss.
So I gave that an 8 out of 10.
Yep.
We're talking
We're
about
in alignment on that. Good
We're
friend.
talking about it.
0 out of 10. 0 out of 10. You evil, evil girl.
Crook who was caught. 0 out of 10. 21 out of 50.
That photo
for Karlie.
of her on a yacht with Scooter Braun, like months before he announced the sale.
That was crazy. Yeah.
You're dead. You actually are dead. And you have some nerve. You have some nerve, Karlie, waking up every day and putting your face out there.
And coming to the Eras tour, too. That was crazy.
Well, okay, so speaking of iconic moments, my iconic moment was when you have to sit in the bleachers because you're the crook who got caught. But you can't help.
You have to sit in the
but you can't help go anywhere.
So I said my fave friendship moments. I really like their Big Sur road trip. I absolutely love that. I also love their Vogue cover shoot. Those pictures are so beautiful. I think
See, I
about them a
can't
lot.
anymore. It's all tainted for me by the Gaylors. I can't enjoy any of it. This is why we can't have nice
Oh,
things.
well, see, now I wouldn't let them ruin that for me. I love those pictures. I used to have that. That was when I would go on road trips and I would have my countdown calendar. I would always use a picture from that road trip to put on my
It was an
little countdown
iconic.
calendar.
It was a very iconic moment, a pre-1989 moment.
Yeah.
I gave it a total score of 28 out of 50.
I did. Did I already say? I said 21 out of 50. 21 out of 50 for me.
There we go. Well, I think we can speed through kind of the last couple of ones because this is a buffet of Flop Summit. Kelly Pickler. Kelly Pickler. I gave her a 20 out of 50.
She got a 14 out of 50 from me, and I discovered that in 2016, when the Girl Squad was going off or whatever, she was asked on Fox News, on FOX,
Where
Fox
else?
News, "Are you in Taylor Swift's Girl Squad?" And she was kind of like a little derisive and like, "No, I'm not in the Girl Squad."
You wish.
And you wish that you were.
wish.
Because
You
now,
didn't win American Idol, and that started a pattern in your life of never winning.
and you know what? I even forgot she was on American Idol. I forgot where she came from.
I loved her on American Idol. For some reason, she was a blonde country singer. I should have known. That was
You
before I
should-
was aware of Taylor. I'm
You
pretty sure.
should have known.
I should have known. Remember when they had a song together called "Best Days of Our Lives"? Cricket.
Some of us turned that up a lot. 'Cause I'll be there in the back of your
Please,
mind.
please.
Some of us turned it up.
So Kelly Pickler, you're over. Speaking of people who are over, Madeline, it's your guy. It's your man.
That's right, my guy.
Dylan O'Brien.
It's so funny because I have like nothing written here. So how funny it was. 10 out of 10. Oh, I was having a ball on that when that was going on in 2021.
That was a real Worlds Collide
2022.
moment for you.
That was, and it was really freaky. How much we like them independently of Taylor. When they were actually friends, 10 out of 10. Now, 1 out of 10. I'm always gonna have a soft spot for him.
1 out of 10.
But he's really annoying, and he's getting like progressively, just like not palatable to me. Does that make sense? I just
Yes.
can't. It's not. I don't like
can't
it.
take it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Did Taylor make them more interesting? 8 out of 10. Yes, absolutely. Was it memorable, iconic? Other than being an all too well 10, I think most people forget about him. 2 out of 10. How good of a friend they are / were to Taylor. 1 out of 10. I mean, what do you want me to say about this? I'm out of information.
I gave him a total score of 25 out of 50. And the only iconic moment that he had in my mind was him being obsessed with Jenny next to Taylor at the VMAs when they were doing Pink Venom.
Oh, yeah. No, he does love Blackpink. I said
So-
my iconic friendship moment is when he brought her red roses after All Too Well 10 premiere.
That is a good moment. But what happened? Question mark.
Well, people have been wondering this question for a long time.
And we're going to keep wondering.
And we're going to keep wondering. Thank you. 24 out of 50 for me.
All right, let's round it out with 2 quick fire rounds. Zendaya, I gave her a 12 out of 50 as a Taylor Swift friend because it's clear they weren't ever really friends and she didn't really give a you-know-what.
Zendaya was also like, out of all of the people we talk about that like turned on Taylor, she kind of did it the most publicly. She was liking some really shady stuff. One of the things that she liked was, quote, "I'm glad Zendaya was never really down with that Taylor Swift squad." She liked that publicly on Twitter. Another person said, quote, "My girl Zendaya knew better than to really be friends with Taylor." She liked that. So like that was pretty... Listen,
Yeah, she was.
here's the tea.
It wasn't a secret.
Zendaya was like 18 years old. Let's just put that out there into the world. I don't care.
And she was on the come up. She was on the come
love
up.
me some Zendaya. I'm saying 10 out of 10. How much do I like Zendaya? 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Period. And the last one we have, I don't know why she made it into Exiled, actually, because I don't know that they're like actively not friends, but it's Rachel Platten, famous for, if you don't know the name, This Is My Fight song, which she really only made it onto this list because Taylor wore the This Is My Fight song shirt, which was ridiculous with a harness on top of it backwards. And then Taylor attempted to sing this song live and also force it upon us, her listeners.
I mean, This Is My Fight song. Take Back My Life song. It really does hit hard when you're at a low point. You got to turn that song on. Like a small boat.
You have to
on
be
the
really low, though.
ocean.
Like really low. Like the drugs stop working, the alcohol stop working,
Yep.
the booty call not answering. Then it's
Right.
time for This Is
Then
My
it's time
Fight
for
song.
Rachel Platten. This Is My Fight song.
Mhm. And if that doesn't work, go with God.
And that's all there is to it. I don't understand how they were friends. That was my thing about this. Like, were they friends? I know
Kind
that
of. They
she
hung
came
out.
She came out on the 1989 tour, but that's the only thing that I could find
I
when I
think
was
she
Googling.
attended Galentine's. I think she did. I can't be 100% certain of that, but I think she might have.
Well, and it stands to reason it was her fight song. It was her
It took back her life
fucking
song.
fight song.
Well, that's it. And you know what? Here are my top 5 Taylor Swift besties. All right. Number 1 with 48 points, Abigail. Number 2 with 45 points, Miss Selena Gomez. Number 3 with 45 points, Jack Antonoff. Number 4, Sabrina Carpenter. And number 5, Haim at 42. That surprised me. Brittany Mahomes is at number 8. I'm quiet about that.
So my top 5 are number 1, Selena with 41. Number 2, Jack with 40. Number 3, Gigi with 37. Number 4, Sabrina with 36. Number 5, Abigail with 32. Where is...
Wow, we're
Brittany,
pretty much the same.
Brittany is at the dead last with 0.
No, it's 0.
Well,
we did it, Joe.
We
That
did it,
was
Joe.
That was a mammoth enterprise, and we
Yeah.
did it. Up next is Taylor's Ops. Okay.
up next is the enemies. You hear
Up
that?
next, and we're going to be even meaner than we were today. So if you like this, patreon.com/swiftologist, and we will see you in the next one.